Well, Australia will send a sophisticated surveillance plane to Europe to help protect logistics hubs and monitor Russia's actions near Ukraine. Live to Trudy McIntosh, travelling with the Prime Minister. She's in Berlin for us today. Good evening where you are, Trudy, at the front of the Brandenburg Gate again. How many Australian Defence Force will be deployed here?
Well, Pete, we're told up to 100 Defence Force personnel will take part of this military operation. Now, this was announced by the Prime Minister alongside the German Chancellor. We will see this wedge-tail surveillance plane from October at an Army base, an Air Force base here in Germany. Its job will be to monitor the skies above Europe. It's going to be looking over the logistics hubs in NATO countries that feed into Ukraine, but crucially, the surveillance technology on board used to monitor whether Russia is making any movements towards NATO territory. There are very clear red lines when it comes to Australia's involvement here. Understandably, the plane will not be crossing into Ukrainian airspace for very obvious reasons, neither when it comes to Belarus or Russia. This is a significant step up, though, make no mistake, for Australia's involvement here. Up until now, we've been providing military hardware from Australia and shipping it over. We've been training Ukrainian troops, but that was happening in the United Kingdom. Now the prospect that up to 100 Australian troops will be in the skies very close to the border. So a potentially precarious situation if something goes awry in terms of those missiles that Russia continues to fire into Ukrainian airspace. This was the Prime Minister and the German Chancellor making this announcement.
This contribution is very significant, both for what it will do, but also for what it symbolises.
We are delighted about this massive support. It's a very important step and a good one.
It's been just a quick day trip essentially here for the Prime Minister in Germany. He will now head to the NATO Summit, which is being held in Lithuania. This is a very symbolic location. The Lithuanian capital of Vilnius is just 32 kilometres away from Belarus, essentially a Russian satellite state. This is the eastern flank of NATO. There is a lot to discuss here, in particular what more can be done to support Ukraine. Talk of a multi-year assistance package. There's also been a bit of a breakthrough, Pete, in the last 30 minutes when it comes to NATO membership. We don't talk a lot about it in Australia, but there's been a lot of behind-the-scenes negotiations to get Sweden finally ticked off. Turkey has been the big holdout within NATO, and the Secretary-General in the last 30 minutes saying Turkey's President Erdogan has now agreed to push this through to the Parliament. So on the eve of the NATO summit, potentially a breakthrough when it comes to Sweden. The big talk in the town, though, will be what happens for Ukraine. They want membership. They've been told that cannot happen while the Russian invasion is ongoing. But this summit will discuss further ways to integrate NATO, this military alliance, with Ukraine, which is currently trying to keep Russia at bay.
OK, Trudy McIntosh with the latest from Berlin. Thank you, Trudy.